Hello, Arkansas, and welcome to this week's edition of Arkansas Money Talk, brought to you by the team of Retire Path Wealth. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio, we have Dale Colclasure. He is the President of Wealth Management, and Mark Smalling, President of Insurance Management. Gentlemen, it's always a joy to be with you. Welcome back to the studio.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always great to be with you, Kristen.
Well, I know how busy you are, and so it's even more of a joy and specialty to get to have this time with you. You've been so busy meeting with folks who've been calling in from the television show. And one of the things that really makes this show so great is that you get to participate in it, meaning there's an opportunity for you to be able to receive your very own complimentary written income plan from Dale and Mark and the entire Retire Path Wealth team based right here in Arkansas. So what we thought we would do today is peel back the curtain and help folks understand what they're really going to get and what they can expect during that first meeting and with that written income plan. Because it's been said that success in retirement doesn't so much have to do with how much money you've been able to accumulate for yourself, although of course that does play a factor, but rather your ability to take that sum of money and turn it into a reliable, ongoing, steady stream of income for yourself that's going to last you throughout the rest of your life. And I know this is what you both are really passionate about helping folks achieve. And so, Dale, I'm really curious to start off, talk about the fact that you all are retirement income planners, because not everyone in this industry can characterize themselves as that's what they specialize in doing.
Right, Kristen, I so appreciate that question because we do believe that's the thing that kind of separates our process and how we do things differently than many out there. I can remember getting into this field 30 years ago, and all financial planning was basically done on a BA2 plus calculator, and we would run a net present value calculation out and run a discount rate back, and you come up with this number and it goes, okay, if you can save $613 a month and make 6%, everything's going to work out great. Well, the realization of that is everybody knows that's not completely correct. And then we've evolved over time from those simple mathematical calculations to the rule of 4%. It's so basically you should be able to take out 4% of your retirement assets on an annual basis and never run out of money. Well,
That's a rule of thumb that I think a lot of people have heard, right?
Correct. Okay, so let's take that term again and let's go to rule of thumb. Well, during the pandemic, that rule of thumb went from 4% to 3.2%. Well, now that interest rates are back up, we're from 3.2 to 3.6%. I've heard those numbers. So where's the rule? And so is that rule the same for everybody? And here's the other side of that is, what is 4%? Have this discussion with folks all the time, especially if we're in a one-income household, where maybe one spouse is the general income earner and the other one is the bill payer. That bill payer has known every other week, this is exactly the net check that shows up and here's how I budget. What the heck is 4%? And the other is if I'm in assets that are going to fluctuate in value, that 4% is going to change potentially every single month. How does someone budget off of that number if that's the rule that they're following?
And does the 4% include the taxes that you also have to have taken out? Because most Americans have the bulk of their wealth saved up in these tax-deferred type accounts,
that's
right?
Right.
Yeah, and that's a great question.
Right. I don't know. Does it? And most of the time they don't know either because that's the question we ask them. Is, okay, what does 4% mean to you? And you often get a blank look. Well, then was the involvement or the development of Monte Carlo simulation, where we're going to run all these different scenarios over time to come up with this predictable outcome. Depending on what software system a person uses, what firm they have a tendency to work with, what is your probability of outcome that deems a success rate? I mean, I've heard of firms calling 70% outcome, goal achievement. Hey, we're there. Well, when I went to school, a 70 was a C minus. That's not how I want to walk into retirement.
That's not the probability of success I would want for my retirement, right?
100% correct.
Right, yeah. Well, obviously, I think a lot of what you've shed light on already is that there were a lot of 20th century type solutions, if you will, but they're not working in today's 21st century environment. We've had a lot of changing landscapes, and this is why it's more important than ever. It's all about income at the end of the day.
That's
and having that income. We've talked on previous shows, so many folks, what keeps them up at night is this fear of, am I going to outlive my money? And rightfully so, and this is why having a solid written income plan is so important.
That's right.
Well, it is, and that's one reason that when we have people come into our office and we're we call it our discovery process. Because oftentimes we'll have people come in and they'll ask us, well, I've got this amount of money, what would you do with it?
And my answer every time is going to be, I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
It depends.
Because we don't know what they need to achieve yet.
Right.
And through our process, typically the first appointment after we've asked them to bring certain information in, and we'll get a little more into detail of that, they're primarily going to meet with Mark or another one of our associates in the office for that discovery meeting and put all that information into place that we can then put into a plan for them to work through.
Right. So let's back it up a little bit and start from the very beginning. So someone sees the phone number on today's show, they call to receive their complimentary written income plan. What can they expect from the moment they pick up the phone and make that phone call?
Okay, when they're going to make that phone call, they're going to set up a time. It's going to go on our calendar. We're then going to send them out an email or some other method of reaching out to them with a list of items to bring in.
Okay.
Now, folks, I'll tell you, we need the answers to those questions that we're sending out to you, okay? You'll have every opportunity to kick the tires and to ask us questions in that first meeting to see if we're a good fit. Because, Kristen, honestly, that is the most pivotal part to this process.
Yes.
You've got to find someone that you can have faith and trust in, that they have your best interest into heart, and that we're at least like-minded in the process.
Right. Yeah.
Because again, we can give you all the best advice in the world, but if someone's not going to take and trust that because it doesn't line up with their line of thinking, it's not going to be really beneficial to them. So that's really a big piece of that first part. Mark does an excellent job of working through what do these assets mean to them? What are their goals? What are their outlook? We're going to go through a complete, what we call a COMRA, which is a color of money risk analysis. We're going to go past that, are you conservative, are you moderate, are you aggressive answer, because 90% of the time our answer is always yes to those three questions. Again, we've been through a really interesting world in the investment parameters where for 17 years the market essentially just went up.
Right.
And then it dropped, and then it recovered, and now it's kind of moved sideways. And so people's definition of what conservative or moderate or aggressive is has dramatically changed. And so I think there's a lot of disconnect between the client and the advisor in many cases, because we'll get an answer from someone, we'll see what their COMRA score is, and then we see their portfolio. And those three things don't always line up.
Right, and this is all too common. I know we're going to get into some more of the specifics. There we go, of that, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Get that out for you. But Mark, I know, you love these discovery meetings.
Well, I do, because it's more of the touchy-feely part of the process where you're trying to find out how they feel about their money,
you're getting to know someone,
and getting to know
yeah.
someone, and what their goals and aspirations are, and so we really think it's important to not just have the numbers, but also have that. And I'd like to encourage all of you out there that may be concerned about their retirement and where you are right now, and would like to have a written income plan done and actually assess how you're doing in retirement to this date, and see if you're ready to go, or if you need a few more years. We'd love to have you come into our office, and we'll provide you with help you provide you with those answers.
Wonderful. Well, I know we have a lot more to get into, but Mark Dale, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call to receive your very own complimentary written income plan from Dale and Mark and the team at Retire Path Wealth is there on the bottom of your screen. All you need to do is call 866-724-3893. You're also welcome to take out your smartphone. You can open up that camera app, just point, click, and scan that QR code down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary visit to be able to come in and receive your very own complimentary written income plan. More on Arkansas Money Talk right after this.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place and then help determine if you're well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision. So why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you're getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
Welcome back, Arkansas. You're watching Arkansas Money Talk. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, here with Dale Cole-Clazier and Mark Smalling from Retire Path Wealth, based right here in Arkansas. And we are peeling back the curtain today on what it's like to come in and meet with them for the first time to receive your very own complimentary written income plan to make sure that you have a solid plan in place so that you don't outlive your money in retirement, which I know is often a huge concern that folks have. What is usually the number one question that you get when folks come in and meet with you for the first time?
Am I going to be okay? That's the primary concern. They know I have this, I have all these pieces put together. There's all these steps and these processes that I've got to go through.
Right.
All of these are so confusing. And as we try to relate to people is that whatever your given job is, you may think is not that difficult because you simply do it every day. But the reality of it is each person watching today is going to retire once.
Yes.
Okay. Fortunately, we get to retire about 250 to 300 times a year.
Yes.
You know, and so
with each person that you're walking through this process with, right?
That's right. So it's not a first time. It's a first time, obviously, with them, and every simple case is personalized.
Right.
Definitely for sure. But the steps through the process are extremely similar, and many times the goals and objectives are similar as well.
Absolutely. Well, I know part of this discovery process, and Mark, you're doing a lot of these first meetings with folks. So
Correct.
You will get to actually come in and sit down and speak with Mark. You ask a ton of questions. Talk about some of the questions that you're asking and what you can glean from the answers that you receive.
Well, you're wanting to know, what their goal is as far as income goes, because a lot of people don't even know what their budget is or what they're living on. A lot of people, as they're nearing retirement, their kids are grown and they've got more than enough. And when you have more than enough, sometimes you just live and you don't really think about.
You're not really tracking or looking at where your money's going.
Everything.
Right.
So we help them discover what that real number is, and that's quite eye-opening to a lot of people. And then a lot of people come in with a pile of statements. A lot of them have never been opened. And so we're helping them to kind of discover how things are allocated in their investments, because oftentimes they don't know. It's just on autopilot. They have a target date fund on their 401k plan at work, and they're just letting everything just kind of roll as it is. So it's about asking them about all of their different pieces and trying to put all of those together to help us paint the picture for them. Because right now they don't know. They just have the paint brushes and that, and they may barely have the easel and canvas, and so we're trying to help put it all together for them.
Right, and I love that it's such an individualized, customized process. This is not a cookie cutter approach. I mean, you really get to know and find out what is someone's dreams, hopes, goals, and then it's about helping you figure out what you can do in retirement, not what you can't do, right?
Right.
I mean, you're helping people dream again and then achieve those dreams.
Right. So many times the thought is this is a one-size-fits-all process. Because typically, even if you watch, there's a current financial firm right out now running lots and lots of commercials. We see them all the time. And they talk about financial planning, and they talk about income planning, and they talk about all the steps that we discuss as well. But then the whole commercial ends with, oh, here's your appropriate investment allocation. Because again, that's where their entire process stops. That's all they're interested in is just, hey, how do we allocate your assets and how do we get your assets under management with us? Where we literally start with building the bones and the structure of the process first, figure out what the plan needs to look like, and then we build all of the other ancillary parts that come in with that, whether it be the asset allocation, whether it be the appropriate insurance planning, whether it be the appropriate estate planning, what all of the other pieces that come along with that are all going to be based on what the outcome of the plan to meet their needs are. As opposed to putting, the output first of, oh, here's this asset allocation that we build for everyone else because it's still due to that suitability world.
Right.
Now what can we do with the income we can produce from that, as opposed to figuring out what they actually need to have in place to meet their goals and dreams.
Yeah, and what they want.
That's exactly right.
Right.
This is the one opportunity that people have where they can literally just throw the windows open and begin to dream. Okay, you've done the hard work, you've put all these assets into place. Let us then step up and show you what you have the capacity to do with those things.
I love that so much. And I know in my work as a financial educator, having traveled nationwide, one of the biggest obstacles, if you will, that a lot of folks feel to doing something like this, to coming in and meeting with a financial advisor for the first time, is a lot of people are scared to provide their financial
That's right.
information. I want you to talk about that a little bit, because I think all of us at the desk would agree you're just trying to look at the puzzle pieces and figure out how to put this puzzle together.
That's right.
And obviously the more information that you provide, the more that you're able to help somebody. So what would you say to someone who's leery maybe or concerned of bringing in their statements, or maybe they don't even know where their information is? That happens a lot too, right? So if someone's in that situation, what would you say to them?
Well, it can be a very vulnerable process. And, at this point, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for certainty, not uncertainty. I think a lot of people are scared of what the answer may be because I would say most of the time we have people come in and go, gosh, I just don't know if I can do this. Well, you put a few of the basic simple steps in place and we already know beforehand they're going to be okay. It's just now the reality of it is, can we turn okay to somewhere else on the good, better, best scale?
I love
and
that.
where do they want to come out to?
Yeah.
Because again, we see, television advertisement, we hear conversations from everyone else about, oh gosh, we did this and I did that. It was good or it was bad. And these are just simply the things they hear, as opposed to how does my actual situation, the assets and the investments that I've put into place, how does that work for me to build an income stream that I'm likely going to have to live off for the next 25 to 30 years? And when we build out that written income plan, we're going to propose that income for at least the next 30 years so they can see, do I like the outcome that's going to be there for me, as the aspect of, we've already mentioned Monte Carlo, which just simply gives me a probability of what that outcome is.
Right.
When we can actually put meat to that and add numbers to it, and they can see at the end of that 30-year plan when they're 95 years old, who most people don't think they're going to live there anyway, that there's positive numbers left at the end. And sometimes those numbers are substantial. Sometimes they're more than what they even started with.
Right.
I think that gives a sense of surety to them that this next step is going to be okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure that brings so much relief to folks, right? If I think a lot of times people are up late worrying and wondering, oh my gosh, am I going to outlive my money? I don't even know if I can retire. I don't even know what to know or what questions to ask. But when you're able to kind of dump out the puzzle pieces, if you will, and start putting them together, talk about some of the relief that you've experienced with people you've worked with.
Well, I mean, we do see that. I mean, when people leave and sometimes they verbally, say, I feel so much better now that I've gone through the process and I see where I am. And sometimes, even if it's, I've got to work for another year or two, or what, it's knowing. It's having the certainty that I've got a plan now that I can follow, and that's that's that certainty really is something special. But you can also see it in people too. I mean, you see it when they leave. It's just it's taking weight off of them.
Right.
Right. It's just a simple sense of knowing, hey, I've gotten this far, and I've done this sometimes on my own. But what do those next couple of steps need to be for the security of what I want my outcome to be? So the one thing I would ask simply today is if you're one of those that you're sitting out there today, and there are questions, any questions in your mind as to what my financial future is going to look like, please pick up the phone right now or scan the QR code. Ask to have that complimentary initial consultation set up. We're going to send out a list of information that we need to pull together. Always more information is better. We can cull through that in the first meeting to narrow down the things we possibly don't need. But the more information, the better the income, or the better the input, the better the output, obviously. But reach out, add a partner to your plan so that we can help you visualize what your future can be.
Wonderful. Dale, Mark, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call is there on the bottom of your screen, 866-724-3893. Or as Dale said, you're also welcome to scan that QR code down in the bottom right-hand corner, and that will get you connected as well. More with Dale and Mark on Arkansas Money Talk right after this.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. The one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to Arkansas Money Talk. I'm Kristen Oakley here with Dale Colclasure and Mark Smalling from Retire Path Wealth. We've been talking today all about what goes into building a customized, personalized written income plan for you. And I'm so grateful to you all for peeling back the curtain on what happens when folks call to come in to meet with you for the first time. And again, this is for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how they can help and serve you. But as part of this written income plan, I know that you run a lot of reports. People are able to actually physically, tangibly see a plan in place. So I would love for you to share a little bit more about what folks can expect to receive as part of that plan.
Yes, thank you, Kristen. That's exactly right. I brought a copy or an example of a copy today of what you're actually going to receive. As we go through the process, it's going to contain all the different reports and analysis that we're going to run, whether it be Social Security maximization, whether it be the Compass report, the written income plan, Morningstar asset allocations, Riskalyze. There's multiple platforms we had the ability to utilize to help to come up with these answers. But one of the main reasons for the construction of the show we're actually doing today is a story I'd like to share about a couple that came in here very recently who had watched our show on television, who was nearing retirement, and basically the referrals they had been receiving from their friends were from a local neighborhood planner that's in everybody's neighborhood. He had gone in to visit with 3 different advisors from this particular firm.
So one of the corporate names that everyone would recognize,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
You'd know them because they're on your corners.
Right.
And the reality was, is he was asking questions that he did not know the answers to. He began to realize that the answer every time was, well, we don't do that. Well, we don't do that. Well, we don't do that. His exact comment to me for when I asked, well, why did you respond to want to come in and visit with us? He says, because you talked about doing all these things that I was told they don't do. And why do I need someone who already knows how to do what I know how to do? And so he did not perceive a value from those other options that are out there. Simply goes back to the basic reason to why the construction of this firm, when Mark and I got together and put this together, was to have the idea because we were seeing those different types of things out there. People had these questions and we were having to refer them out to someone else simply because either I didn't have the expertise that he had and was having to send them to him, or vice versa.
Right.
As you know, in over the 7 to 10 years that we've been working in this organization, we've simply added more options to be able to answer all of those questions. Our goal over time, obviously, would be to anyone that's entering the stage of retirement through the end of their life and passing assets even on, that we would have some type of answer that was a good answer for them for every one of those questions that they had that they were needing to answer.
Well, and this is an important thing to recognize because I hear this a lot too, especially in something like, let's just take taxes, for example, right? And engaging in tax planning. I've had folks that have gone to some of these more corporate firms and they are literally told, oh, we don't do tax planning, right? Because they're not allowed to.
That's right.
I mean, that's the difference with you being independent and you're not beholden to any one set of products or whatnot. You're able to really look at each person's individual situation. This is so far from being a cookie cutter approach.
Right, and that is the difference of being independent and holistic because we've built the system. I mean, it's not cookie cutter. We built it from the ground up, and we're listening to our clients and what they need, and that's what we've added to our organization over time are things that our clients have requested, and that.
Right, specifically as Mark asked. I mean, those are the things that we've added just in this last year, the things that have been asked for, whether it be tax preparation or an easier avenue to estate planning. For things that they were just apprehensive to go somewhere else for, but they already had built a trust with us in those areas.
Yeah. Well, another thing that sets you guys apart is I know that a lot of firms can charge upwards of, I've seen $800 to $2,000 to receive a written income plan, but you do this for no cost, no charge, no obligation. Why is that, and how are you able to do that?
Well, and basically the ability to come in and bring that data together in the first place to set those steps apart. Our decision was we did not want people to be intimidated by some type of a potential cost down the road that they did not foresee coming. And so we have lots of ways of structuring those plans and setting those things up. And in some instances, you know, there are other implementation steps to that. But the idea is we didn't want some unforeseen, unknown potential cost coming down the road to get in the way of someone doing the things that they needed to do and putting the steps in place that were right for them.
Wonderful. Well, and I know too, there's a lot of value in getting a second opinion, and we might have viewers out there today. You might already be working with another financial advisor.
Right.
If someone comes in, how are you able to review what they currently have, and then what does the conversation look like in that case?
Well, I mean, we gather the information about their plan. We basically start like we would in any meeting. We're just trying to figure out where they are. What are some of the things that they're missing in their current relationship? Because that's usually what it comes down to. There's something missing, and sometimes they don't even know what it is. And you know, so it's helping them discover that.
Right.
And sometimes you see the aha moment.
Right.
Ah, that's what I'm missing. I just didn't know.
But if
Right.
someone's on track, you're going to encourage them to keep doing what they're doing, right?
Oh, that's absolutely correct. And then just simply enhance the processes they already have in place. So often the meeting starts out, hey, I already have an advisor. Okay, I just need help with this one area. Well, what they haven't understood, because they've never had the conversation, that one area affects every other area of the plan that this, quote, advisor has never touched upon. So many times through our process, our clients or our prospects come to the understanding that what they really have is a product broker, not an advisor. And that's okay. We've got lots of friends in both sides of that industry.
Right.
And so the reality of it is they've got the ability to make that decision. Do they want a broker or do they want an advisor? And so if you're one of those that's sitting out there today and you feel that you're possibly being underserved, or I'm possibly not having the full picture painted for myself and put together for my family's future, and you would like a look by an independent financial advisor who's going to holistically look at your entire situation and give you real opportunity for options and outcomes, please pick up the phone and give us a call today.
Wonderful. Dale, Mark, thank you so much to our viewers. Thanks for watching. We look forward to being back with you next week.